Shalom, family trendsetter. All praise be to the Most High Power Hashem for allowing us to see another day, a day in which we should be repenting from our wicked ways. Actually, on my way to New York City to drop off a load, I decided let me holler at y'all for a minute or so. So there's a show on A&E, pretty much well, it's not really depicting, it's actually actual arrests of individuals committing crimes. And I noticed the majority of the arrests is primarily Caucasians, Europeans, right? A lot of them being arrested for meth. And I noticed also when they get arrested for meth, how they handle these individuals with kid gloves. You know what I mean? Majority of the time they let them go. If they don't have any warrants, or any major warrants, I should say, they let them go with a fine for them to actually appear to court or whatever. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I'm looking at the double standard, because with our people, when we got arrested for crack cocaine, we was put into the system. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with these devils, because according to them, it's an epidemic, which it is, you know, they handle them a little bit different. It's almost like they have a disease and shit. You know what I'm saying? Heroin epidemic or opioid epidemic is not really a drug situation. It's a disease that they have. That's the way how they handle this shit. I also noticed, like, when they make arrests of individual Caucasoid, of course, having weapons, they don't, throw them on the ground. They don't fear for their lives. They don't, you know what I'm saying, shoot them or tase them. It's almost like, hey, I have a weapon, and they say, where's the weapon at? They disclose where the weapon. Not all the time. Majority of the time they lie about it. But when they do discover the weapon, it's no fear for their lives. There's nobody drawing guns. It's pretty much like, they take the gun, they put it on the hood or the top of the vehicle, and they, run the individual if they have an ID or whatever, and it comes back they have a warrant, they put them in jail. I've seen situations where they actually gave back the gun to these people, you know what I'm saying, while in possession of meth. So I've seen one incident where this individual had a gun. I guess it was legal, it was licensed, or he had a permit for it, permit to carry, I guess. But he had meth on him. And, I guess it didn't reach the scale for them to arrest him. I'm assuming that's what it is, because they actually took the meth, they gave him a summons to appear to court, and they gave him back his weapon. The only thing they told him to do is make sure that the clip is not in the gun. In which case, the clip wasn't in the gun when they first found the gun. But I'm just saying to myself, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? These devils actually get a court date. You know what I'm saying? Let them go. You have to come back to court. I mean, I've seen so many episodes. I really wanted to show y'all what I'm talking about, but I know, they're going to strike me for copyright. So I said, let me just talk about it. And I kid you not, family, I would say the majority of the arrests, or actually not even arrests, because there wasn't no arrest involved. The majority of the stop resulted in these people being let go and issued a fine or a summons to go to court. And I also noticed when they had, let's say, apprehended, or let's say they pull over a so-called black individual, it's a total different scenario. Guns are drawn, you know what I'm saying? Hands up, don't reach. What are you reaching for? Everybody is like on high alert. And most cases, these black people that's being pulled over, no charges. It's nothing on them that would incriminate them. A lot of times it's because of violation, seatbelt violation or turn signal violation. And when they come out, they automatically cuff them, put them on in a police car and shit. Go search their vehicle because they suspect them smoking marijuana. Is always that case, And of course, our people, we smoke, but as soon as they smell a little bit marijuana, they don't even ask for permission and shit. They get the dog, and the dog alert, and then they go in there and search and dig out shit, and they don't even be finding nothing half the time. And then, they come back, where's the drugs? And dude is probably like, what are you talking about, man? I smoke like earlier today, you know what I mean? It ain't illegal to smoke. I smoke earlier today. What you smelling is residue from earlier, and it's like they don't really have nothing on them, but it's almost like they drilling them. They trying to find, kind of like Gayle King, that bitch. You know what I'm saying? How she was just pushing it with Lisa. trying to get something out of her. That's what they was doing. And because the camera is on their ass, they realize they got to let them go. And they're like, we're going to, and they all, oftentimes they cite them, they give them, a ticket and shit. No warning, just a ticket, for seatbelt or whatever, kind of traffic infraction. But I'm saying to myself, man, I kid you not, man. This is why I talk the way I talk. This is why I think the way I think, because it is hard for me to accept these people as humans, because they're not. They look out for their species. And I know a lot of y'all tired of hearing me talk about this shit, but I guess because y'all don't see what I see. Y'all go on social media looking for entertainment. I don't have social media. I go and I research who my oppressors is and see the situation that they have putting us in on a daily basis. So I guess this is why I have this mind frame and y'all don't, because y'all not really experiencing what I experience. I drive for a living, and I'm here, there, everywhere and shit. I go to different states, and I see how I'm treated when I go to a rest stop to get gas. If I'm in like Indiana, or if I'm driving, let's say, through Ohio and shit, on my way to Chicago, I see how these devils, treat us. And I'm telling you, man, I really hope and pray, and I do believe there is a God. Y'all call him God, I call him the Most High Power. I really hope and pray that this shit is not in vain, because I know this Helio Biblos book that we read, it tells us a whole lot of, give us a whole lot of information who this God is. And I don't know, man, I really hope and pray that this is not all, because these devils have to be dealt with. They need to be punished for real. I mean, I'm thinking about like everything they have done. I drive through Baltimore on a daily basis, and I see the condition of our people, how, these devils have literally destroyed our communities with drugs. And, you have a whole bunch of alcohol, liquor store. You have a bunch of alcoholics just hanging out at the liquor store early in the morning, fam, waiting for that 8 o'clock hour to strike. Cause that's the time these liquor store open up in Baltimore, 8 o'clock, not even 9 or 10, 8. And, you got our people just, man, I kid you not. Talking about Baltimore, the other day, I think it was actually, let me see, today is what, Friday? I think it was on Tuesday. I was driving through Baltimore early in the morning, and I seen some officers, some DEA and some sheriff. I guess they was going to try to do a bust or serve a warrant. And I remember, falling back and watching how they was planning. They had these papers out, I guess, how they going to execute the warrant. And it was like I would say maybe about 7 or 8 of them, right? The majority of them was actually white. You had 1 or 2 black officers there. And I was watching them. I said, wow, this dude's about to get caught. Whoever this person is about to get caught out there. And, I watch, and they looking at me like, what the fuck you standing here for? What you sitting here watching for? They gave me that look like, get up out of here. So I drove away. And sure enough, in the afternoon, maybe around 6 o'clock, on the 6 o'clock news, I heard 2 officers shot in Baltimore, the exact same area where they were serving this warrant. I kid you not. 2 officers shot and the suspect killed. So apparently, whoever this person was that he was going to serve the warrant to was dangerous and shit. So this individual, according to their story anyway, took out 2. Well, they didn't die. They was in the hospital and shit from their wounds. And of course, they had to take the suspect down. So, I mean, this is the shit that we got to deal with. And a lot of us might look at it and say, well, that's what he get. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand something. If they had given us equal opportunity, like how they give these white people, so-called white people, right, we wouldn't be in this position. Because first of all, if we have the means, if we have the resources to take care of ourselves and our family, we wouldn't be out there committing crimes. We wouldn't. I mean, I have the means and the resources to take care of my family. I'm not out there, and you probably not out there committing crimes, because we have the resources. And if they didn't give it to us, we went out there and got the shit. You know what I'm saying? We was smart enough to say, you know what? I'm not going to follow suit. Yes, back in the days, I ain't going to lie, I'm not a hypocrite. I used to do my thing, to survive. But as I got older, I got smarter. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, I got wiser, and I realized that, you know what? It's not a win-win situation with these devils. You know what I'm saying? With these devils, we're in captivity, right? We're under subjection of these devils, so we have to abide by their laws. So what I've done, I've actually studied how to beat them at their own game. You know what I mean? Because they do it. They break laws every motherfucking day. Every day they break laws. But the difference between them and us is that, they create the law. They're the one that write the law, so they can afford to break the law because they are the inventors of these laws. So I'm saying to y'all, family, man, listen. I know it is hard to see how these devils get away with murder, literally, in many cases, and how the double standard is like on a daily basis and shit, right? When it comes to them and us. But I do believe that, we are going to be redeemed. I know there is a creator because he speaks to my spirit. I don't hear from him. I never heard his voice, never seen him or her or it. What I'm saying? I just know that there is a creator because I'm a creation. And a lot of time he guides me. I say he because I'm going to refer to him as a he. He guides me and how to govern my life. And two things I actually try to abide by, right? From this Elio Biblos book is one, is to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Because when you read the 10 Commandments, there's 613 of them, but when you read the 10 Commandments, it does make sense. It's not grievous to me. It's not hard for me to say, oh, I'm not going to abide by these laws. Now, do I execute these laws 100%? Absolutely not. But I try my best to do so, and I follow dietary law. Because after, realizing who I am, that I'm the Most High chosen people, we are the Most High chosen people, and a lot of us going to say, well, how do you know? Well, I know, because the Spirit be a witness. After realizing that, and I read in the Helio Biblos Bible the instruction what to do to serve one of the God in the Bible, because there's two different gods in the Bible. There's Asatan and there's a Most High power. Now, Asatan is the one that speaks mostly throughout the Bible, believe it or not. A lot of y'all believe that, it's the Most High. No, it's not. There's two gods. One God requires obedience. The other God requires sacrifice. I follow the God that requires obedience because he said obedience is better than sacrifice. I'm not going to follow the one that says to sacrifice and to sacrifice and to sacrifice, because it doesn't make sense. If the God in the Bible, let's say it's only one God in the Bible, right? Why would he say obedience is better than sacrifice? Which means that he don't really want your sacrifice. He would rather you have, he would rather you be obedient to his laws, statutes, and commandments. But then you have another God that says he requires blood sacrifice. If you read the Bible, I'm telling you, family, if you really and truly read the Bible and study what you're reading, you're going to realize this Bible is fucked up. It's not what it appears to be. Yes, I know a lot of y'all Hebrews are going to be offended, you know what I'm saying, because y'all hold dear to this contradicting book that was written by man, not by God, because it's not the infallible word of God. Because if this was the infallible word of God, you wouldn't have so much contradiction in this book. And I got to keep on saying it because I know a lot of y'all really believe. Like I said, the original Bible, the original record of our people, of our ancestors, was taken away by these devils. These devils are ruling over us. Do you really believe they're going to give us the information that our ancestors had? You know what I'm saying? When we had a one-on-one with our power? No, they're not. They're going to give you a stumbling block. They're going to give you some, according to the Bible, I said, you should not put any other God before me. That's the first commandment. So what other God that they have put before him? The God that required blood sacrifice. The one that allegedly came from him, right? Jesus, Yahawashai, Yahushua. So if you really and truly read the Bible, man, it's a lot of contradiction. And what, you know what I'm going to do? Just to prove to y'all once again, because I've been making videos in the past showing y'all the contradiction. I'm going to give y'all some more scripture for y'all to refer to. And that Apostle Paul, he wasn't real, family. He was not real. It was an invention of the so-called Romans and shit. They were the one that invented this devil, the Council of Nicaea. And Paul himself contradicts himself. Paul himself tells you that he used guile. Guile means trickery, right? To deceive the massive. Paul basically said that he was the one that pretty much invented Jesus Christ. And I'm going to prove it to y'all. I'm going to show y'all that all along y'all been worshiping a fictitious character. Okay? The Most High power, if he needs to have communication with you, he will communicate with you one way or the other. We're right now cut off from him, family. We are in a sinful state. He's not dealing with us. We in a prison planet. We're on a prison planet, right? In a condition where we have to get ourselves cleaned up. So it's like a do-over in order for him to have, one-on-one relationship with us. But anyway, fam, I'm going to end this by saying I really and truly appreciate y'all support, you know what I'm saying, watching my channel and, just bearing with me and shit. I know oftentimes I come on here And I do sound a little bit crazy, but it is what it is. You know, what is crazy? Crazy just means you're different. And with that, I say shalom.